Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the second installment of the lunar readings for the full moon, June 17th. And today we're going to look at Aquarius. Alright, full moon readings are all about harvest. It's all about the seeds we sowed at one point or another and now reaping the fruit of those seeds. Right, it talks about closing karmic cycles, reevaluating your path, right? Seeing the fruits of your labor, right? Whereas the new moon readings are all about beginnings and starting a journey. It's during the full moon that we look at the journey itself and the road, the stages along that journey, right? That you start to get feedback. So let's look at your animal spirit for the full moon period. For our lovely Aquarius. I'm not going in any particular order of the zodiac for how these videos will be uploaded. I started with Aries and it just felt like I wanted to move on to Aquarius next. So what's the animal spirit that's going to be accompanying our lovely Aquariuses during this full moon period? Show me the animal spirit that's going to be taking this walk with them. Show me. All right, your animal spirit for this full moon, Aquarius, is the bumblebee. Beautiful. Air energy. Right? So, beautiful air energy. The bumblebee is highly creative, social, buzzing, 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 buzzing. Full of ideas, right? Full, wanting to socialize, communicate, right? Ready to start new ideas and start new plans. So you're feeling all a buzz. Literally, the bumblebee is very much like that. It's very social, airy, creative quality associated with the bumblebee. Or the bee. I say the bumblebee because I love bumblebees. They're like fat and furry. But the bee's hardworking, you know. Busy as a bee. Busy, busy, busy. I love the bees, you know. They're very sensitive creatures, artistic creatures. They work well in a group. It's just very good energy to be around, right? Bee energy is like really, be around someone who has bee energy. They're nice to be around. They're fun to be around. They're enthusiastic. You know, they get you feeling enthusiastic as well. All right. So you're feeling quite good during this full moon period, Aquarius. Let's see what your cards say. Show me what's going on with Aquarius this full moon period, June 17th, for the next month or so, the next 28 days. Full moon to full moon. Show me what's going on. What kind of harvest are they reaping for the seeds they've sown? Show me. All right. At the center, you have 4 of discs covered with 9 of swords. Wow. Bottom of the deck, you have 3 of discs, working in group. So interesting to have the bee, because 3 of discs certainly talks about working with others, working on behalf of others, you know, when others perhaps ask you to do a task for them. You know, partnership. Collaboration. But right now you're concerned with money and stability, right, Aquarius? You're trying to hold on to something. You're trying to hold on to the money that you've made, but are you being a little too miserly? Are you holding on a little bit too tightly? Your covering energy is 9 of swords, so you have a very angsty, anxiety energy right now. So you could be very much like feeling very kind of paranoid about your money. I don't even want to say paranoid, but very cautious, very, very careful. You could be emitting a kind of like miser energy as a result of that, right? I mean, just look at the two cards, right? The worry. He's looking back. He's literally being dragged to his death, right? This is someone who is like at the end of their days, ready to pass on to the next stage, and still they're looking back at their money and their wealth and holding on to as much as they can take with them, even though they can't take anything with them, right? And it's that kind of really desperate energy. And then Nine of Swords is certainly a very kind of like worried, anxiety. You've got judgment on your mind. At the bottom of the deck, judgment, right? So you're feeling in the back of your mind like there's a reckoning coming. Has something happened financially to you that you're worried about? Have you done somebody wrong, or has somebody threatened you in some kind of way? You're worried about it, right? Certainly for you to be worried about your finances and to be wanting so desperately to hold on to them, to have all of this anxiety, which maybe not necessarily is manifest in reality. This is just worries, sleepless nights. And still, and at the bottom, in the very back of your mind and every very pit of your heart, you're still thinking about a lot of judgment issues, right? Judgment talks about closing karmic cycles, owning up, fessing up, taking responsibility for your actions, and also healing as a result of that, forgiving yourself and forgiving others, right? Tower moment is happening for you. I wonder if this is why Aquarius was so on my mind tonight. These heart cards are already so quite heavy. You are going through a huge change right now, Aquarius. Big tower moment, certainly with judgment at the bottom and then the tower moment in the cycle. Big changes. You have a lot of anxiety. Could be changes in finances. You've been coming from a period of strategizing, sitting back, thinking, what is your next move? You've been kind of in a real stasis most recently, but something's happened. Something's been coming down the pike, and it's kind of coming to fruition now, and it means everything in your life is kind of changing. And I'm not sure if you've been prepared for it. Perhaps you were prepared for it. It could be that you've been spending some time most recently preparing for it because you haven't been making any moves recently. You've really been sitting back and thinking, reevaluating, right? It could be as well because of all of this coming down. You might have known that this was coming. You might have known a period was coming where you would have to maybe tighten your belt financially, right? Or perhaps you were dealing with some kind of upset financially, and you knew it was about to happen. For instance, like if you're on a job, it's the last couple weeks and you don't know, you don't know what's going to happen next. And you're still kind of in this stage of waiting to see what happens next. You still got 2 more weeks to come, but yet you have all this anxiety. Everything's going to change. It could be as a result of some action or whatever that you've taken that's really brought this about. That's just kind of an example of what I'm talking about. But certainly you've been expecting something to come down the line. There's a King of Wands. There's some kind of energy here. King of Wands in this deck, right? He's surrounded by his children. It could be that you're having to deal with a family member or somebody like that. It could be like an inheritance situation. Parents, grandparents, something has been, could be that you're coming to a period of time where you knew you were going to have to deal with some kind of family issue that also involved money. Could also be that a family member who is a real matriarch or a real patriarch rather, male or female, but a patriarch sort of energy is coming in and requiring you to kind of like, requiring certain things of you. You're certainly someone who commands a lot of authority, and you certainly respect them, right? Although the tower moment is underneath all of that, them coming into you is really upsetting, and not upsetting, but it's toppling over kind of your whole existence right now. Could almost be, this could be like a loved one who's elderly now, and they've always kind of, just someone you really respect and love also, but they're in a position where now you have to take care of them as well, and that is changing your whole life, or there's something that you have to do for them, and it's really causing you a lot of emotional anxiety. It's upsetting your whole life in terms of changing your whole daily routine. You may even have to move. You feel though like you have to do this out of a moral obligation, right? Certainly at the very top of your mind, you're feeling like you're losing out on some of your dreams. You feel like maybe some of your goals are in question. You're not really sure what the future holds anymore. You're having to kind of reevaluate what your dreams and goals are now, as a result of this coming in, right? As a result of this King of Wands and whatever their business is that's coming in and basically forcing you to stop your life. It's certainly making you reevaluate your goals and what you want for your future. Ten of Cups is coming in though. That's a happy completion, right? This is a completion. This is completion and happiness. You get the love, you get the family, you get the stability and everything coming in. Now this is on the cross side of the King of Wands with this turnover. I think this person, whoever this person is going to come in, and at first it's going to seem like very stressful for you. But when you come through the other side, you're going to be very, very happy for it. Something really positive is going to come out of this, but it requires you to really kind of like be altruistic and give it all you've got. You certainly cannot go into this with any kind of selfish or ulterior motives. It has to be completely virtuous. Whatever you need to do for this individual right now, it really needs to come from the heart. It'll be difficult, right? Doing it the right way and having it truly come from the heart is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to require you to give everything that you have to give in a way. It is certainly stressing you out to a certain degree. You're a little bit nervous. You have a lot of anxiety. But the flip side of that is that you're certainly going to come out of this you're going to come out of this with an unexpected kind of bonus, boon, happiness, happy ending, one that you never thought could happen. There'll certainly come a completion cycle. I'm going to tell you, I almost feel like it's someone in your family that is elderly. You have to take care of them, right? But you really have to give up of like a lot of... Sorry about that little cut, folks. My camera cut off for a second. I had to let it cool down. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that it almost feels like a scenario where you're kind of like having to change your whole life to really assist someone, assist someone that you really, really care about, that you love, but, helping them in some way, maybe taking care of them in their old age or assisting them. Maybe they're having to do some rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation, whatever it is, right? It does require you to kind of have to change your whole life around, right? You feel really nervous about it, right? But the flip side of it is that when you come out of the other side, you're going to be in a position that you never thought you could be in. It's going to be such a positive position. You have Ace of Cups coming in, and a new love, a new opportunity for love certainly is coming in for you, right? It's so funny because this is it's actually a very positive reading, but something is scaring you so much. And I think it's more just that you're so worried. You have a little bit of self-confidence, right? It could even be like, listen, this person may not even need you to take care of them. They may just be coming in and requesting your services, right? Because Three of Pentacles is also working in partnership with others. It's also when others request your work because you've started to become a master. You've started to get notoriety for how good you are, how skilled you are at whatever talent it is that you have, right? So it could be that this person that you respect very, very much could be coming in for you and wanting to hire your services. And that could be the scenario, right? But whatever it is, it's still giving you a lot of anxiety. You're feeling very, very nervous about it, right? Now, this offer offer like that, if it has to do with like work or your art or anything like that, right? This offer, like I said, it could be a tower moment, in as much as to take the offer would change everything. You may have to move. You may have to change where you live, You're kind of like, wow, all of this, right? Is this really what I wanted? Seven of Cups talks about reevaluating your goals, you know, right? Your dreams and wishes, and it may be making you feel on the surface a lot like, wow, you know, am I going down the right path? Am I on the path to my goal, to my vision? But if you are, you will come out of this with a love connection, with an opportunity for more love, a deep love like relationship. Certainly come out of this with a happy kind of completion to a cycle, springboarding you onto a great another cycle. Here's the Lovers, Two of Cups. Beautiful. Yeah, you got a lot of like love coming your way, Aquarius. You got a really happy relationship, a really passionate relationship, a sexy relationship, but something is making you very, very nervous right now. Could even be that you're nervous about, you may know this person, right? You may already have a crush on this person. You may have this. Another scenario could be that this King of Wands is somebody you have to go to, right? To kind of like get their blessing. It could be that person's mother or father, right? To get their blessing to be with that person, a boy or a girl, doesn't matter. If you have to, like, you could be a female who has to deal with a particular man's mother, you know, or a woman, or a man who has to deal with, you know, a particular woman's father or something like that. But this, the leader in the family or something like that, right, is the King of Wands. This is this individual who's going to be very fiery. He's going to be an older individual, someone who's been around, who has children, who has generations after him perhaps. Certainly someone who is established. And this person, this is, you know, your interaction with this person is integral, right? Interestingly enough, is integral to the possibility of all of this here happening, which is like a happy home, a happy completion to a previous cycle, and the start of a beautiful new cycle with someone, a really passionate cycle, right? This does not mean that you're breaking up with anybody necessarily, but it means that you're closing one chapter, right? But it is an emotional chapter. It's a chapter of relationships, but you're closing it on a positive note. You're not closing it like in a way of negativity or hostility or resentment, or that you're never going to speak together. It could be that you have resolved some family issues here, right, with this King of Wands, right? And now that chapter is finally closing, but it's closing on a happy note. It's closing on a positive note, on a Ten of Cups note, because you have healed whatever issues there were here, right? And it's allowing you now to move forward with a really nice new romantic opportunity. Right, so whatever scenario is surrounding this King of Wands right here, energy, it's certainly worth exploring, Aquarius, because it's going to lead to so much more. Right now, your energy is so beautiful because you've got this beautiful, social, hard-working energy that everyone around you kind of is gravitated towards. It makes you very attractive. It's kind of law of attraction energy. And like I say, people are seeking you out for your talent already. Let's get some clarity on this reading. It's a beautiful reading, even though the Tower moment is there. And it does start off kind of angst-ridden. But these are more just worries and anxieties. Like I said, they don't necessarily have any base in reality, or like, you know, that it's actually going to happen. More just doubt, self-doubt, you know, self-esteem, doubt and confidence, shaky confidence, right? But it's like everything else around you is so positive. It's just, you know, it's just reflecting back a lot of positive energy from those around you, certainly with all of this love coming in. Ten of Cups, Ace of Cups, Two of Cups. After a judgment and a Tower and a resting period, a period where you really contemplated your stability and maintaining your stability, which of course is perfect for laying the groundwork to have this kind of love coming in. Show me some clarity. Give me some extra insight onto this reading for our lovely Aquarius for this full moon period, please. Show me. Show me so I can show them, so I can tell them and give them a complete story for this beautiful full moon reading. So show me some more. Show me some more. Queen of Discs, Six of Swords, Knight of Swords, Ten of Wands, completion, Ten of Discs, Two of Swords, Prince of Discs, and Nine of Swords. Eight of Swords, I'm sorry. And Two of Discs at the bottom, Two of Wands at the bottom. Talking about pressing forward, right? Mars and Aries energy, going forward with your plans, going forward with your next steps and your vision, not letting anything really stop you. There's nothing that can stop you. You're focused, you're ready, you have the fire to go. So yeah, Judgment, yeah. You've kind of like Aquarius, you might be in a place where you have really accomplished a lot for yourself, but yeah, right now you are facing a little bit of judgment, right? I mean, Four of Pentacles at the center, but here is Queen of Pentacles, right? And she's very protective of what she's worked for. But she's much more nurturing energy than Four of Pentacles or Discs, which is much more a miserly energy. Queen of Discs is just a protective energy, right? There's some karmic cycles that you have to close. There's probably some karmic payment, as it were, right? You may have done some things perhaps that you're not so proud of, but paying off karma is it's much more about facing up to what you've done and really accepting responsibility for what you've done. And it's a lot more about being honest with yourself, right? The longer you deny yourself, the more that you deceive yourself, the worse your karmic price is. You know what I mean? It's almost like, really truly accepting your responsibilities and the consequences of your actions, right? And also forgiving yourself is a way to really kind of burn off negative karma very quickly and to move into a higher kind of elevation, a more positive vibration, a higher vibration, right? So protecting, I know you want to protect what you've worked for, but right now you are feeling like you need to kind of like do some internal adjustment, right? But a lot of this, again, I feel is again, similar to this and this energy in the center. It's more like just kind of doubt, a little bit of doubt, self-doubt, a little bit of self-guilt down here along with that self-doubt. But just remember, you have worked very hard for everything, and you deserve everything that you get because it's come out of your own sheer will. Six of Swords is in talking about, applying all your efforts to communicating, to being clear and efficient with your communication, to work towards a more harmonious way of communicating. You're trying to work towards positive energy. And this tower moment is a positive tower moment. I think it's come about because of your your continued striving towards a better, more harmonious way of dealing, right? Certainly you want to maintain stability here, right? You've taken a break and paused and been very mature about re-evaluating to maintain stability. You also very much want to move towards harmony in your life in general, right? You don't want to have anxieties and worries and self-doubt or guilt. So kind of giving yourself over and going through this judgment period of kind of forgiving yourself a little bit, right? And trying to, really overcoming some of this anxiety, right? Having the strength to deal with this moment here with this King of Wands is really going to get you to a higher place. It's kind of like it's scary to take the first step, but everything gets better from there. Knight of Swords clarifies the Four of Swords. So certainly, yeah, you've taken a moment to take a little rest, but now it's kind of like full steam ahead, right? You strategize, you've reevaluated, you've taken pause, but now you know what you need to do, and your energy coming out of this recent pause period is very, very high. Certainly B energy as well. Knight of Swords is coming in, it's coming in with yin and yang equally applied. Mind, body, and soul as represented by the three birds. You know, he's got the propeller of his mind, agile, quick, swift, communicating, honest communicating, creative communication, very creative. If you notice, the coloring as well is very similar, very green, very creative, fresh, new, right? That is that kind of air energy. King of Wands, oppression is here. Ten of Wands. Right? So that talks about, you know, closing off a period of unburdening yourself. Ten of Wands is unburdening. It's closing off a period of that's been a long kind of struggle, a trials and tribulations period. You've been carrying, Ten of Wands is at the end of a long stretch of time when you've really been carrying a lot of baggage, right? And now you've gone through so many different trials and tribulations that you're really, now you're ready to completely unburden yourself. You're ready to release your baggage. You've had enough of holding on to it. And like I said, this King of Wands, this individual, whether this is a family member, which I really feel like it is a family member or a very close friend or someone that is important to you, this whole interaction with them is going to be the closing of a cycle for you. It could be that you've had bad blood with them. Something is going to go on, some kind of interaction here with this individual that is really going to allow you to not only, it's going to allow you to unburden yourself, to let go of some baggage that you've been holding on to a very long time. I know the whole thing has been extremely stressful for you, and you've been very worried about losing everything in a way and dealing with all of this. But like I said, it's like you go into all of this with all this shadow work and some anxiety and doubt, right? But pressing through it, right? Two of Wands, pressing through, right? That's the energy that you're going to keep at the very underneath, right? The subconscious and the driving force, that part of you that drives you forward. If you maintain that Mars and Aries energy, Two of Wands, you'll press through this. Though you fear it, you press through it and you come out. Ten of Pentacles up here. When you start to read your vision and your goals for yourself start to shift, Seven of Cups being your goals that have an emotional attachment to you. As a result, coming through this is like all your opportunities to take a literal shift. Totally change for you. The opportunities that now exist after this did not exist before this period. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you have manifested new opportunities by working through this, right? This is why I love the spread, because there's a timeline, but there's an aspect to it as well. And you certainly come out not only maintaining your wealth, but increasing your abundance. Where you were worried about holding on to what you have. Look, this is the card that best describes the Queen of Disc in my imagination, right? Because look, she looks back on that barren land. This is where she came from. And she created this lush area around her. Capricorn energy there. So she's very much created that lush area around her. Earth of Earth energy, Queen of Discs. I'm sorry, Water of Earth energy. So, like I said, Water of Earth energy, again, very emotional, right? She treats all her accomplishments are almost like her baby. You know, her business or whatever, her passions, her artworks, she treats them almost as if they're her children. That's how emotionally attached she is to the works that she's, to the fruit of her work, right? The fruit of her labor. It's like those people who, like, you know, treat their company like a baby. Like, they love the company, they love the people that work in it. Everything is about nurturing, you know, what they've produced. And that's a wonderful place. And yet, you come out of this with Ten of Pentacles, even more abundance, the opportunity for even more abundance. Two of Swords comes out, and here we go. Ten of Cups, like I said before, the closing of a particular cycle, and yet you come to a Two of Swords, which is very much a peaceful area. It's not, and a lot of people mistakenly think that Two of Swords is about making a choice. In fact, Two of Swords is more about balance. It's Moon in Aquarius. It's about balancing. It's about being able to balance the different sides of yourself in harmony, in unity, and you know, with the object of being unified. And coming out, closing this cycle, And closing this cycle on this positive Ten of Cups note, it's going to give you the ability now to kind of find some balance within yourself, which you had not had before. You know, again, law of attraction, it's good that this shadow work makes you even more attractive and brings in this Ace of Cups, and also someone who wants to come in with an offer of support financially. This individual, this Ace of Cups person could be someone who's also very ambitious, very business minded. They could be in the same business that you're in, but they're Prince of this. They're coming in with commitment. They may come in through a business relationship, but they're a committed kind of individual. You start to work with this individual in any kind of way, or you start some kind of project or relationship, you know, they're very steadfast, right? They're very, very steadfast. And as well, Prince of this, it takes a long time to come. So it could be that this is kind of like the knight in shining armor that's really taken a long time to come to you. But then again, you needed to do the shadow work, right? So this new opportunity of love, Ace of Cups, is certainly tied in with this kind of Prince of Discs energy, this individual. And your traditional deck, this would be the Knight of Discs coming in, right? And I'm pretty sure that is a lot of the energy of the person that this Ace of Cups is starting off with. Someone you may have just perhaps met through business, like I said. Eight of Swords, again, comes here on this Two of Cups. There is a little bit of worry and interference that comes in with Eight of Swords. A little bit of the need to set boundaries around this, right? If this love comes in for you and you start, you know, you've gone through all of this and this new opportunity for love comes in and you take it, you and your person take it to the next Two of Cups, just beware that there are individuals around you who seek to interfere, and you will need to set boundaries. Eight of Swords talks about, eight is the number for boundaries. So Eight of Swords talks about, you know, the type of boundaries that you have to set, limits that you have to set necessarily with friends, people around you, people who, you know, anyone really, but a lot of times it can be friends and family who feel as though they can kind of interfere into your love life. Just take care of that. That's just a little kind of warning card that's come in on top of that Two of Cups. But other than that, this is really a beautiful reading, Aquarius. I'm going to call it. This is the June. Where are we at? 30 minutes. This is not too bad, not too long. This is the June 17th full moon reading for the sign of Aquarius. Wow. If this resonated with you, please sound off below. Send me an email, you know. And also do the usual, like, subscribe, share. You know, that really helps my channel to grow. I'm going to be putting out a video as well to thank all you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. But for right now, I just want to say you guys got a really great, exciting time of evolution and love coming ahead, all right, for this full moon period. Take care, Aquarius. Bye-bye.